So today we don't have much wind. So we got a little spread out, all full bodies, really scattered out, small family groups, just kind of give them anywhere to land with the no wind we got today. So we saw these geese in this field yesterday. They're all starting actually in this green and this wheat, eating the grass coming up, and then they're actually jumping across the road into a burn field where they're getting a lot of food, but they're coming to hit this first. So hopefully we catch them on their way to the burn field.
Now we're just wrapping up here and just kind of getting the spread all set up. The birds are going to come out late, at least that's what we've been seeing. And so it's early Canada goose season. It's northern Minnesota, and talk about a tremendous opportunity. You know, obviously there's so many Canada geese in this part of the world. You look at National Canada Goose Harvest, I mean, Minnesota leads the way every year. And so just a tremendous opportunity. It's early September and it feels good to be laying out in the decoys.
Yeah, so we came into this field and we had a couple options, a couple ditches we could have hid in. It's a chisel plowed field, so not much option to hide in the middle. So there's this rock pile, there's a couple of them in here, and we were able to just come in here and get a lot of grass and get as far as we can on the end here, and I think we blend right in. Oh, there's a group right there. Yeah, let's get in.
Oh yeah, here comes two.
You got it? Yeah, I can see them. Can you? They might come right over the top of it.
You know, whenever you're decoy hunting, that first group of birds kind of sets the tone for the day as far as how they work. And you know, we get set up, you know, and these birds don't move right away in the morning. You know, usually it takes a little while for them to get going. They're not early risers like ducks can be at times. You know, that first group of birds starts to work the decoys, and they just come in so perfectly. You know, we had kind of a quartering away wind, and you know, it was just beautiful, you know, and so we didn't have to move or adjust the decoys much at all. But watching these birds come in, watching them finish in the pocket, you know, that's what it's all about for waterfowl hunting for me. Especially, you know, using decoys. I just love seeing them come in with their feet down, just trying to land right on top of the decoys. I mean, that's as good as it gets.
Kill him there.
All right,
There we go.
nice. That was beautiful. You know, one thing that I really enjoy about these early Canada goose seasons, the weather's so nice. You know, a lot of these seasons are early. You know, some states, you know, it starts middle of August. A lot of states, you know, it's in September, but you know, it's early in the season. The weather's nice. These birds haven't been hunted yet. And it's just a tremendous opportunity, you know, and it doesn't take a lot of equipment, it doesn't take a lot of gear. That's one thing I want to stress. You know, people think that waterfowl hunting can be difficult. You have to have, you know, big trailers full of decoys. This is a situation, this is an opportunity where if you had a couple of dozen decoys, you know, you could shoot a lot of geese early in the year. You know, these birds are used to feeding in small family groups. And if you're on the X, if you do any scouting and all, and get permission where these birds are feeding, you know, you don't need a lot of decoys, you know, and so it's really an opportunity where you can go out and kill a lot of geese with small spreads. And I tell you what, as long as I live, I'll never get tired of watching these big geese coast and lock up into decoys. It's just a magical sight. That was beautiful.
Okay. Now they're back up.
Yep.
The thing that I love about early Canada goose is it's the start to fall. It's the first thing that we as waterfowl guys for the last, you know, my entire life is been early Canada goose. little bit of bow hunting, and then duck hunting, a little bit more bow hunting, you know, and the start of early season is just that kickoff to fall, you know, and I love that. And, you know, another thing I love is it's the first cold snaps of the year, you know, like this morning. We had frost this morning. It was 40 degrees. It's just a little bit nippy, you know, the coffee, you can see the steam rolling off the top. And, you know, just sights like that and feelings like those is just something special. I love it.
Jump!
So these are coming in so pretty.
Scouting is one of those things where you can really never have enough of it. You always got to think, okay, what can I do to ensure that we have a perfect hunt tomorrow? You always kind of got to be thinking that in your scouting game. And I think that's what makes scouting by far the most key thing that you can do. You know, you got to run through all the variables. Okay, where are they coming from? What roosts are they going to? Are these birds going to this close one, or are they going to the far one? You know, can I get away with shooting my gun in that direction or not? Wind direction, and you know, just where they're at in the field. It all has to come together, and you have to make an equation and come out with the best possible answer that you can. And it starts from your scout.
Oh, there's a group. Let's get in.
There we go.
That was beautiful. Golly, I never get tired of that.
Nope. Yeah, let's hurry up here. Hard to beat a 4-pack like that.
Right. They're adding up. Boy, these are coming in pretty, just perfect. Perfect spread, perfect concealment. I love watching those big birds coast in. Now, hunting early Canada geese can be a challenge in the sense that sometimes these birds are in a pretty tight family group, and they're almost like they're antisocial in the sense that if there's 10 geese over here and 15 geese over there and they're 300 yards apart, they'll sit down right in the middle. You know, and so that's probably one of the big challenges, is that sometimes these birds are still in their family units where they don't like to intermix with other families of geese. And so when you're setting out your decoy spreads, you know, a lot of times you're using fewer decoys and you're setting out really loose family groups, and you're getting some space in between the decoys, you know, and with small decoy spreads, you know, probably the big challenge with that is concealment, you know. And so a lot of times, you know, if you can work a field edge or, you know, some type of cover in the field, every field's going to be different, you know. Today we set up on a rock pile where it was just perfect, where we had tall weeds and we had enough grass where we could really hide the blinds. And the other thing we're noticing too with layout blinds is that sometimes it's easier to hide the blinds if you just bunch them all together in one big lump or mound, and then make sure that there's no hard edges where it just comes up a foot or two and then just levels off and it's just natural grass, you know, that looks like everything around it. You know, that's probably the easiest way to hide with layout blinds versus having them individually where you have a coffin here and a coffin there and a coffin over there. You know, birds can find that and see that a lot better, especially if you're out in the decoys in the field if you don't have tall stubble. And so we had a perfect situation for hiding the blinds, and watching those birds work, I mean, they just finished just perfect.
Yeah, what we have here is a JTR motion decoy. It's what we found is the best on the market today. We've got it sits away from the blinds. There's no strings, nothing, and you hit one simple button from the remote, flaps like that and collapses down, tucks his wing in. It allows for motion inside the decoys, and then also it gets its wings out of the way as well. Yeah, we've been running them for a couple years now, and we've found that we've had major success with using these decoys as far as wary birds, stale birds. It helps add realism to the spread. We'll hit it for trafficking birds. We'll flag for when any sort of wing beats start happening, anywhere from that 200-yard range into 0, and any sort of winging that they do when they're not locked up. You hit it once and it seems to lock them right back in.
Here we go. This one's me?
Yep.
Let them get in real tight, Kirk.
Yep. Any band? What's your deal here?
Yeah, it's right there.
There's some decisions to be made there.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, so early in the season when you are using these smaller spreads, you know, probably the other thing worth mentioning is a lot of times you really have to back off on your calling. You know, sometimes you're better off not calling at all. You know, if you can just lay quiet and let the birds finish, that's probably the best case scenario. But you can definitely overcall these birds in the sense that they just want a few clucks, a few moans, a few groans, just to, you know, just a noise that a smattering of, you know, just a small number of geese would naturally make out in the field, you know. And so, you know, definitely keep that in mind when you're hunting early Canada geese, is that you can definitely overcall. Probably the best thing is to undercall and just call just enough just to turn them and, you know, keep them looking at you.
Hey, one here. Jake, you got another shell? Anybody got another shell?
I got one in them.
Oh, he's dragging it forward.
Better take them.
Hey! Oh, come on, Wyatt.
This year is our first year as a true guide service. Last year, you know, we've been trying our best, you know, just bringing people out and getting the feel for it. And you know, I think we offer, you know, something that's pretty unique. You know, there isn't too many guide services in this area, but you know, one thing we'll always do is we'll give you our best. There's 3 of us, 3 owners. So one thing that's nice about that is we've always got trucks on the road, and we're always doing our best to find them. And we kind of specialize in, you know, field hunting. We don't hunt a ton of water around here, and we hunt a lot of, you know, grain fields and corn, and we generally target, you know, Canadas and ducks in the field, and that's kind of what we're known for.
One thing I think that makes this area so special is that it's untouched. People will say, you know, they think Minnesota, they think Rochester, they think the Mississippi. They'd never, you know, really think about that northern Minnesota birds that are coming down from Winnipeg, coming down from Canada, and it's, you know, like recently in the last couple of days, we saw a couple elk scouting, we saw bear, we saw giant deer. This whole area is rural, and it's good country. It's unlike anywhere else.
Well, what a great morning, huh?
Absolutely. It was beautiful.
I'm gonna line them up here, bellies up. That's the cool thing about this opportunity. I mean, you look across the Midwest, there's so many places where you can do this, where you can experience this early Canada goose season. It doesn't take a lot. You can see here we've got less than 40 decoys on the ground here. Small spreads, lots of opportunities. And I don't know, never get tired of watching those big geese coasting in. Love how these birds will finish at times. What a great day.